Hi, this is Sally with Sally M. Sutton and Jewelry, Gemstones, and more. Today, what I want to talk about is using a pendulum and getting your yes and no answer. Before we start to cover that, though, what I'd like to mention is if you have a pendulum that you work with and you picked it up online or at a store, or if it was gifted to you, and also before you do any type of energy work, what you will want to do is clear that pendulum and also to clear your space. And I wanted to talk about a pendulum. It really doesn't matter what type of pendulum you use, whether there's crystal on the end or whether it's brass or whatever the case is. All a pendulum is a string with a weight on the end. So really, it could be anything. You could use anything for a pendulum. I have quite a few different pendulums. I design jewelry, so I made these, and these are pendulum necklaces where you can take them apart, and just like the one I'm wearing, it is actually a pendulum necklace also. So you see this stone is smaller and it's shaped different, so it really doesn't matter. And you can take these apart. The cool thing is you can take them with you everywhere you go. You wear them. They don't just get stuck in your purse and crumpled up. So now that I have it cleared and cleansed, we're ready to start with getting our yes or no answers. Now, on my blog post, I have a couple of items that you can download. And one of them is just a simple diagram if you want to download it. It is, you'll see an arrow up and an arrow across, and these are just some common examples of how people's yeses and nos. There's a circle around and then a circle counterclockwise. And I have friends who are stopping by here to join us. Little bugs like to come around and visit while I'm recording my videos. So what I do is, in order to get my yes and no answer, I'll hold the pendulum, and I like to hold my arm and you hold the pendulum like this instead of like this, because my hand, sometimes will shake. In order to get a good reading, I'll hold the pendulum like this and out from my energy centers. I don't want my chakras affecting the pendulum, the flow of the pendulum. So I'll hold it over this paper and I'll say, give me my yes. I don't know if you can see the pendulum. I'm trying to hold it just as still as I can. Give me my yes. Awesome. Okay, and then I'm going to stop. And then I will say, give me my no. And you see, my yes was a circle, a clockwise circle, and my no is kind of a diagonal line. So that is my yes and my no. And don't let someone tell you that your yes and your no is wrong. It's got to be up and down or across or circle or counterclockwise, because everyone's different. So everyone's yeses and nos could be different. Yours could be an elliptical or something. It really doesn't matter. It's your particular yes and no. That way, when you start asking your pendulum questions, you'll know your answer, whether it's yes or no. Now, another thing I'd like to talk about is the pendulum is an extension of you. Although everything has its own energy and everything has its own consciousness. Even your pendulums, your stones, whatever you work with. However, the pendulum, once you start working with it and practicing with it, it becomes like an extension of you. You sort of bond and mesh with the energy of the pendulum. So you can directly influence the outcome of the answers by your thoughts and by your emotions, and especially your emotions, because our emotions are what fuel everything in life. Okay, so what you have to practice is, number one, getting out of the way with your thoughts not directly influencing the pendulum. Say, for instance, you were up for a job promotion and you were going to ask your pendulum, am I going to get the job promotion? and you're thinking, oh, let it be a yes, 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 you'll directly influence the pendulum, and it'll give you a yes instead of giving you the true answer. So the practicing is asking yes or no questions that don't have a lot of fuel behind it. Say, for instance, this was a bottle of vitamins, and you sit it down and you're going to practice with this bottle of vitamins, or a banana, and you hold your pendulum over the bottle of vitamins and you ask, is this good for me? And then you hold it over the banana and you practice intentionally thinking not about the answer, about you stepping back from the answer. Is this banana good for me? So I'm imagining a banana laying right here, although I don't have one. I don't have one in the house, but is this banana good for me? Yes. And, you know, sometimes it might say no, because sometimes maybe that particular banana might not be good for you. Maybe another one would. Maybe that one is chemically laden and that particular one is not good for you. So test and practice and practice. And another thing, the second thing I want to talk to you about is when you're working with your pendulum and using your pendulum, use it with good intention. Let the ego step out of the way. Don't use it for egotistical reasons. Use it with good intention, because you can use your pendulum for healing. And we'll cover that later in another video, for measuring your chakras or other people's chakras. But always use your pendulum and do your energy work with good intention, not with the ego. Okay? Now, another thing I'd like to cover with you is, now that we have cleared the pendulum, we've determined our yes or no, now what we want to do is our particular pendulum, we would like to determine the accuracy of it. These are just a few little tips for you when you're working with a pendulum. If you're just learning how to work with a pendulum, it's really important that you practice. And practice makes perfect with everything in life. The more you practice, the more true your answers will be. The more you can disconnect from the outcome, the more accurate your answers will be. And as you're working with the pendulum, you'll end up probably not needing the pendulum, because you'll feel it in your heart. Because your heart is the true communicator. It is the brain. You'll feel it in your heart, or you'll feel it in your solar plexus. Okay? So I hope you've learned a few things here. Let me know if you have any questions. Visit me on my blog, SallyMSutton.com, and jewelrygemstonesandmore.com, and that is my Etsy store. That's where you can find the jewelry that I make. So stop by and see me. And if you want one custom made, I absolutely love to custom make jewelry for people. I love how Spirit talks to me and tell me just exactly what they need. Anyway, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.